Hello fellow Dragonborn, this is Caedo Genesis, and welcome to the Guide of Shouts for the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. I will be showing you the locations of all 3 words of each shout for the vanilla game, that is without expansions. A little disclaimer, a good amount of these shouts have quest requirements, and those will be marked with stars. I will tell you the related faction, the quest to look for, and the word wall's location. So let's begin with the shout that pretty much defines the Dragonborn.
Fus Roda!
Unrelenting Force. When all 3 words are in play, almost anything and anyone in front of you will be blasted back and knocked over for a short time. You can locate one of the words for this shout in Bleak Falls Barrow, which is west of Riverwood up the mountain pass. For the other 2 words of this shout, you must follow the main quest line until you reach High Hrothgar. You will gain these words during the quest The Way of the Voice, and after you complete the Horn of Jurgen Windcaller.
Wold Nakest!
Whirlwind Sprint. This shout will launch the Dragonborn forward a short distance, the distance increased from each word obtained. The first word of this shout can also be taught to you in High Hrothgar. Dead Men's Respite is where another word for this shout can be found, and that is to the west of Morthal across the river. And Volskij is the place that the third word can be found. It is one of the locations of the 8 named dragon priests, and is far to the west of Solitude. The wall is actually sitting on top of the dungeon, so you could just scale the mountain if you really wanted to.
Faim Zigron!
Become Ethereal. This makes you invulnerable to all sources of damage for the duration or until you attack, and also prevents your stamina from decreasing. The first word for this shout can be found in Ustengrav, accessed through the quest The Horn of Jurgen Windcaller from the Greybeards. The second word is found in Ironbind Barrow, south-southeast of Dawnstar, and southwest of Winterhold, also the place you find a wonderful unique enchantment. The third word for Become Ethereal is in Lost Valley Redoubt, northwest of Falkreath, southeast of Markarth, and directly south of Rorikstead, easily recognizable due to the massive waterfall.
Lok Bakur!
Clear Skies. With this shout you can command the weather itself to cease. This also can be used to stagger opponents. This is yet another shout taught to you by the Greybeards in full for your ascension of the rest of the mountain, supposedly impossible to climb without clear skies.
Yol Oshul!
Fire Breath. With this you shall spit flames like the dragons do, dealing a healthy dose of fire damage. You could obtain the first word of this shout almost immediately after learning Clear Skies from the Greybeards, during the quest The Throat of the World. It is given to you once you reach the top. The second word for this shout is found in Dustman's Cairn, accessible only after joining the companions in Whiterun and taking part in their quests, proving honor specifically. The third word is in a cave called Sunderstone Gorge, the only location of these 3 that is not quest locked. It is in the northern edge of the forests of Falkreath, and west of Lake Ilinalta.
Fu Kadim!
Frost Breath. Similar to fire in terms of raw damage, but this shout does its damage over a 5-second duration. You may find one of the words in Bone-Strewn Crest. South of Winterhold, this bastion is almost exactly in the middle of Eastmarch. Fulgenthur is a dungeon where another Frost Breath word is located, in the marshes south of the Blue Palace of Solitude. The last is found in Skyborn Altar. Scale the mountainside east of Morthal, and you will arrive at this word wall.
Jur Zaprul!
Dragonrend. The shout created by mortals to force a dragon to land, so combat can continue on the ground. As for the location of this shout, if you haven't received it yet, I don't want to spoil it, due to the awesome cinematic stuff that happens. But I will say it is gained through the main quest Alduin's Bane, at the Throat of the World.
Das Yamir!
Aura Whisper. Similar to Detect Life, but instead with these 3 words you will detect anything that moves, one of which can be found in Northwind Summit. It is in the mountains separating Eastmarch and the Rift, and can be reached by going through Northwind Mine. Another word is found in Volenrud, which is near Morthal to the southeast, a little ways south of Skyborn Altar. The third word is found in Valthum, in the southwestern side of Skyrim, between Markarth and Falkreath Forest, and yet another home to one of the 8 dragon priests.
Wood Aving!
Call Dragon. Another main quest related shout, you call a specific dragon by name to come to your aid. Another I don't wish to spoil, but this full shout is learned during the main quest The Fallen, and is taught to you by Esbern, who is found at Skyhaven Temple or High Hrothgar depending on your progress. Throw Voice, another like a whisper, and then an insult. It draws enemies' attention to where it is aimed, to cause all sorts of mischief. All 3 words of this shout are in one place, and that would be Sheerpoint, near Whiterun in the mountains to the northeast, a place that you will find another dragon priest too.
Ra Nirta!
Animal Allegiance, a command to all nearby wildlife to aid you during battle. One word is found in Angarvund, An ancient tomb in the southwestern corner of the rift and directly west of Riften. Another is found at Ancient's Ascent, southeast of Falkreath amongst the mountain range. Ysgramor's tomb is the location for the third word, a short jaunt northwest of Winterhold. And though the dungeon itself is only unlocked through questing with the companions, the quest Glory of the Dead, the wall itself is on top of the tomb.
Su Gratun!
Elemental Fury. Combining all three words increases the Dragonborn's attack speed by 100%. The disadvantage being that it will not work on most weapons with enchantments. One word of this shout can be found in Dragontooth Crater, almost exactly in between the statue of Meridia and Markarth. Speaking of the statue, that is where the second word can be found. Meridia's shrine is west of Solitude. The third word is in Shriekwood Bastion, a mountain path that is north of Falkreath and south of the lake. Kyne's Peace. This will calm all undomesticated animals, except for frost trolls, and will also have a detect aura. Ragnvald is the first destination, and it is a Nordic tomb north of Markarth. The massive stone arches are hard to miss, so you'll know it when you see it. Also the resting place of a dragon priest who is quite mad. Another word for the shout can be found in Ranvig's Fast, which is south of Morthal over the mountains. One of the easier words to get if you don't fall into a trap. The third word for Kyne's Peace is in Shroudhearth Barrow, just next to Ivarstead, a town you visit when you intend to climb the 7,000 steps. You must start the quest lifting the shroud, started by Ivarstead's innkeeper. The reward he gives you will let you progress to the word wall.
Victory is yours. I submit.
Dismay. This causes enemies to flee in terror at the boom of your voice. The more words obtained, the higher level enemies it will affect. At the highest point of Dead Crone Rock, you can find one of the words for this shout. It is nestled behind Markarth to the southwest. Another is located in Shalador's Maze, one of the 3 dungeons located in Labyrinthian, an excessively large ruin southeast of Morthal. You can take part of the challenge of the maze, or just walk around it to receive this word. The final location of the words for Dismay is Lost Tongue Overlook, south of Riften on the edge of the rift. Slow time. With this shout, everything around you moves a whole lot slower, and the Dragonborn a little less so, letting you react faster to numerous things or extend the duration of others. A word for this one can be found in Hag's End, which has its own world space west of Dragonbridge that is accessed through Deepwood Redoubt. Korvanjund is the place to find the second word, northeast of Whiterun, and directly west of Windhelm. The quest to access the good parts of this dungeon is the Jagged Crown, that you do shortly after you join the Stormcloaks or the Imperials. The last is found in the main dungeon of Labyrinthian, which is only accessed through doing quests for the Mages College in Winterhold. The quest leading you here called the Staff of Magnus. Marked for Death. At maximum strength, this shout reduces your enemy's armor by 75 and deals 3 damage per second for 60 seconds. If used multiple times, the armor decrease will stack. One word for Marked for Death is found just above Autumnwatch Tower, in the southwestern corner of the rift, directly south of Ivarstead. A little ways west of Falkreath in the Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary, the second word can be obtained, but of course only if you gain access through joining them. And that can be started through the quest Innocence Lost in Windhelm. The third word is gained from Forsaken Cave. Following the river west of Windhelm will lead you to it, and it is north of the Frozen Lake. Yes, Sanus! Ice Form. This encases your target or targets in ice, freezing them solid up to 30 seconds, during which they take small amounts of frost damage over time. It can also be cancelled by taking damage other than its own. Word number 1 is found atop Mount Anthor, southwest of the Shrine of Azura, which is just south of Winterhold. The second word is found in Sarthal, just north and west of Mount Anthor. Another access through the Mages College, the name of the quest being Under Sarthal. The third word is in Frostmere Crypt, south and a little ways west of Dawnstar. Be aware, this one is haunted. Disarm. A shout that does what else? Disarms enemies in its path, up to level 30 at full strength. One of the words for this shout is found at Elder's Blood Peak, which is south of Morthal in the mountains. The second may be found in Silverdrift Lair, that is southeast of Dawnstar on the other side of the mountain range. And the third word is found in Snowvale Sanctum, accessible during and after the quest, Speaking with Silence, which is a part of the Thieves Guild. You can find out about them in Riften.
Thrun Bakor.
Storm Call. One of the more powerful and chaotic of the shouts. With 3 words, this will cause a heavy downpour for 180 seconds, accompanied by thunderbolts that do 80 damage each every 3 to 6 seconds, targeting at random. 1 out of 3 can be found on top of Forelhost, a Nordic crypt on the mountaintop southeast of Riften. Forelhost is worth going through to fight the dragon priest inside. However, the word wall is atop the stone ruin, and can be reached with a well-placed Whirlwind Sprint. Another word for Storm Call is in Highgate Ruins, which is right in between Dawnstar and Solitude. A Dragon Priest and a unique spell can be found here too. The place of the final word for Storm Call is Skuldafn. It is an unmarked location that is only reached through the main storyline, during the World Eater's Eyrie. Unless you suddenly forget the look and sound of a word wall, you're sure to find this one. Call of Valor. The 20th and final shout on this list. How many words of the shout you use determines one of 3 of the legendary tongues that join you in battle for a full minute. 1 word summons Gormlaith Goldenhilt, 2 will summon Feldir the Old, and all 3 will summon Hakon One-Eye. Upon completing the main quest, all 3 of these words are rewarded to you. But what's the fun in spoiling it? So that, my fellow Dragonborn, is all of the shouts in the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim before the expansions, which give us a few more. And those will probably be covered at a later time. This guide in particular took me an excessively long time, not just getting all the footage and editing, mind you, but determining an easy to understand order due to places being quest locked, which goes against everything I've done in the past related to patterns, but it is finally complete for you all to enjoy. A worthy goal in the end, I think. So what about you all? What shout do you find yourself using the most? I would love to hear about it in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, I'd love to hear about that as well. And if you want more, you know what to do. Thank you for watching. This is Caedo Genesis, and your next adventure awaits.